still are. I mean, you know, you've talked about, people are complacent about it. You know, it's not that big a deal anymore. It's like, all right, you don't think it's a big deal? You come and walk in my world for a couple of weeks. And you talk to people with HIV and AIDS.
It's something that we've said even about our own effort for outreach, you know, for winning hearts and minds, if you will, that it's the personal contact that makes a difference.
Absolutely.
It's not until you know somebody that's dealing with it, whether it's coming out as gay or trans or homeless or, you know, interpersonal violence, whatever it is, it's so easy to dismiss as not mainstream.
It's not me, it's not anybody I know, it's not my community, not my town.
Until.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's right on. And I'm really glad you brought that up, too, because, you know, so much of my work is the public policy and the legislative stuff and the advocacy stuff. We organize a big AIDS awareness day up at the Capitol every year, usually in late April, early May. And we get 300 to 500 people up there, mostly people with HIV and AIDS, many for whom it's the first time they've ever come to the state capitol or walked into the state capitol. And we do a big rally. We get people pumped up, and then we kind of turn them loose to go talk to their legislators. People are always like, oh, you've been with the coalition so long. I'm like, I get to do what I love to do the way I want to do it. Like, why would I leave? Where else would I go? Who else would want me? But at the end of this year's rally, my colleague and I, Leif Mitchell, he and I co-chair our statewide AIDS advocacy group. Leif and I were standing outside, and a reporter came up to us, Jim Moore from the Waterbury Republican. Jim's been really great writing about HIV and AIDS issues, always quick to pick up the phone. So he was talking to us, and then Senator Jonathan Harris, who happens to be my senator, came over to apologize that he wasn't at the rally. He'd had a funeral to go to, actually. And so Jim asked Jonathan, so are these events effective? And he said, are these things effective? And Jonathan said, you know, the rallies are effective, and the advocates, and he pointed to Leif and myself, are effective. He said, but you know, the thing that really makes the most difference is when people who are most impacted by whatever the issue is, but today by HIV or AIDS, come and talk to me or talk to their legislators. He said it's so easy, you know, there's so much going on up here. It's so easy to look at words on a page or numbers in a budget. But when the real person comes and talks to you, it makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I have exploited that conversation as often as I can and as much as I can to impress upon other advocates who aren't up at the Capitol and don't have a relationship with their legislature. I mean, we talked earlier about the Alliance for Living here in New London that covers, you know, the southeastern part of the state. Sandy Brindamore shop. Sandy and her folks have great relationships with their legislative delegation. I know this because I've been at, you know, legislative breakfast with them down here. I'm talking to those legislators up at the Capitol, and they're on board. They know what's going on. So I know that that's happening. I wish that would happen in every area of the state. I mean, if I had my little magic wand or my wish list, that's what I would wish for. I mean, you know, we're an effective lobby, and, you know, I think we're well respected in the work that we do. You know, and in fact, last year, during the budget crisis, we weren't cut, besides the governor's 5% rescissions. But on our big ticket items, housing, syringe exchange, prevention, we weren't cut. Right. And it's because of the work that we all do. And we've tried to work really hard with legislators saying, here are places where you can cut us. They're not going to impact sort of the fabric as a whole. Right. And they've appreciated that because, you know, they need to offer something and say, here's where we can make some changes here. And I think that helped protect us this session. I mean, we dodged a bullet this session. We really did. Next session, you know, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. And you know, I don't envy the next governor coming in. I hope it's somebody who, you know, we can count on to work with us and not just come at it with the chainsaw. And it's not just about the AIDS funding because, you know, any healthcare issues, Medicaid, housing, supportive housing programs, other healthcare issues, dental, they impact our people, mental health, they impact our folks. So we're part
Comprehensive
of,
lives.
absolutely, we're part of lots of other coalitions to sort of bring the HIV perspective there, while our main focus is really HIV and AIDS.
Right. Mm. Did you want to talk at all about the upcoming events?
Sure. We have a lot of great things coming up at CARC. An
opportunity for something a little different.
A little fun, a lot of great stuff. We have a summer fundraiser that we do, or end of summer fundraiser called Summer Camp. It's always been a pretty campy event. We often have drag queens. This year, we're holding it at Sully's Pub on Park Street in Hartford, almost near West Hartford. And we have Roger Catlin, who's the TV critic from the Hartford Courant, is going to be one of the MCs. And Roger's one of the funniest people I know. He's just insanely funny and very dry sense of humor. And Tony DiPietro, whose drag name is Barbara Jones Street Sand. Yeah. Nobody does Barbara Streisand like Tony does. I've known Tony for probably 20 years, and he's incredible. And the Imperial Sovereign Court will be there, and I think there's other entertainment, and it's $25. It's one of our more affordable fundraisers that we do, and it really puts the fun back in fundraiser. It's one of my favorite events that we have. We have another event coming up in November called We Can, which is Women End the Course of AIDS Now, and we're having Sarah Schulman come to be our keynote speaker. In the past we've had Gloria Steinem. We had Naomi Tutu, Bishop Tutu's daughter. Wow. And we had Gloria Rubin last year, who played an HIV-positive nurse on ER. People might remember her. So this year we have Sarah Schulman, who was a writer with the Village Voice back in the early days of the AIDS epidemic. She's an activist. She's a lesbian. So really, really excited to have her. I don't have the details about her about the event, where it's going to be. And then we have a conference coming up, a one-day conference called No Wrong Door, which is really about breaking down the silos and demonstrating the interaction between HIV, interpersonal violence, homelessness, substance use, mental health, and other issues. That's going to be at the 4 Point Sheraton in Meriden. And all of this is on our website, which is www. Probably don't even really have to say that anymore, do you?
No, not really.
Probably not.
ctaidscoalition.org. And you can look under events of all the stuff that's coming up that we have.
And it says you've got this October, you've got an AIDS walk as well, 3-mile walk.
That's right. We're teaming up with AIDS Project Hartford for the first time. They've been doing an AIDS walk for probably 20 years. I don't know how many years. We recently, in December, we moved to the same building with AIDS Project Hartford, so we have a really close relationship with them and looking on other ways to collaborate with them. And so with the AIDS walk, it's going to be at the West Hartford Reservoir, which is a beautiful site, and particularly in the fall. So it's a little over 3-mile walk around the res. And people are encouraged to bring their pets with them as well, so they can bring their furry friends and not just their two-legged friends.
Can we borrow your dog back?
Sure. So again, all this information is on our website, ctaidscoalition.org, about these events and some of the other work that we do, trainings. We're a small, mean, lean fighting machine at CARC, not a very large staff, but we do quality assurance with AIDS housing programs. We administer a lot of Ryan White funding and AIDS housing funding that directly benefits people with HIV and AIDS. I do the public policy work, and so we just make good things happen. That's what we try to do.
That's wonderful. And I think we can probably link to your organization from ours. I say that sort of as a question because Tara does all our
we'll definitely
all our IT stuff. So
and we can link back too. I mean,
we've been posting and sending out over our mailing list when the Alliance for Living has something going on. And,
oh, great!
Knowing that there's another place to look, we'll send some of this out.
And I think we've got your website on the up on the screen right now.
Yes, they do.
Yep, that's great.
But we can link to that from ours.
It means the boys are paying attention.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're great. They take care of us really well.
Last few minutes of the show?
Yeah, but that's really wonderful. And walking is great. I walk all the time. I'd love to come and do that. But yeah, we can link to that so people if they can't find your website directly, they can go to ours. And,
oh, great! Thank you.
And it's I mean the AIDS Walk strikes me as something that's really easy and accessible for a lot of people. It's not like it's a 3-mile walk.
Right, it's not running.
Around the reservoir.
Right.
You show up, have a good time, get a little exercise, and help out a great cause.
Yeah.
And I think meet some great people. I think there's probably a great following that AIDS Project Hartford has. We'll bring some of our supporters into it. There's always new people who come into things.
Yep.
And I think one of the guys from AIDS Project Hartford was we were at the same meeting today, and he said they do lots of fun things along the way too. So I'm not involved in the planning on it, so I can't address what any of the fun things might be. But I think it'll be a fun time, really great time.
But just around the corner, only a couple weeks away.
Summer camp.
Summer camp.
Summer camp.
Be there, or we'll talk about you.
At Sully's Pub in Hartford.
Sully's Pub.
5:30, September 9th.
Yeah,
be a
that's
good time.
Wonderful. And yeah, it's wonderful stuff. It's a wonderful cause. Certainly one we have to be careful not to forget about. It's just, AIDS is out there.
Well, and there's a saying, and nobody knows who came up with it, but it says, "Until there's a cure, all I want is my friends back."
Yeah.
So.
It really is a scary thing, and thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. And certainly,
really my pleasure.
Certainly, come back and see us again.
Sure.
I'd
be delighted to.
That's one of the ways that we can help keep it in the forefront of people's minds. Is
and that's
alternate between you and Sandy.
Yeah, it's certainly we get this is sort of what we're here for. We love this stuff. It's like people tend to forget things, and
it's a great community service that you all are providing.
Raise awareness and get the word out. So tell your friends, get tested.
Yeah, by all means.
Get tested. That's the big message.
Yeah, don't forget this. This is a very real issue, and
it's real easy to ask your doctor when you go for your physical. Can I have an HIV test?
And apparently, it's gotten easier to do that. So that's a wonderful thing. So yeah, by all means, do that, and please come back and see us again, and keep us posted on what's going on. And,
I'd be happy to.
And we will try to get up there and do some walking and
certainly come the new year, there's several legislative agendas we're going to want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're
involved in some of those as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So come back and tell us all about it. Keep us posted. We can get the word out there as much as we can.
Yep.
But
we're gonna go.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming. And I think we have to go now. So we'll see you all next week. And bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.